Hello folks and welcome back to Tyranny. As always, of course, I am Falcon, your host. Folks, please like and subscribe. Like the video, really helps the video itself to grow more popular on YouTube and helps it to get more views, which helps me to grow the channel. Which is mostly helped by you subscribing, because I would love to see you folks again. If you really like my content, it makes it easier for you to find it. And it helps the channel itself to actually grow and become more popular. Leave some comments down below, because I would love to hear from you folks. Any suggestions or anything that you would like to see, games you want to see me play, what you want me to do in games, whatever. And most importantly of all, folks, please do check out my Patreon right now, because I'm really trying to revamp the YouTube channel itself and work it with Patreon, because I want to create something unique. There is a card floating around, I believe, on the top right corner of the video here, and there's also links down in the description and at the very end of the video to take you to the Patreon, but please check it out. And let's go ahead and get going here. So, we are, I have to remind myself where the hell I am. We're here in the infested old walls. We're looking for the Dauntless, the legendary sword of the Unbroken, which I believe was supposed to be the sword that their leader was supposed to use. Let's see, are we here for... do we have an actual quest to be here? I don't think we actually have a quest to be here. I think this is just a side area that we are looking for, just kind of in general. Because we don't have a quest to be here. All of our quests are taking us to yeah, nothing tells us that we're supposed to be here. So all of our quests take us back to other areas, but I can zoom out a lot more than I thought I could. How close can we zoom in? Way too close. That's how close. Alright. So you will note that he is alerting me that he's supposed to be leveled up. That's because I'm saving a point. For those of you who haven't been paying attention, or if I haven't talked about it, I'm saving a point to use to upgrade his wits to level 20, because you need 2 points to do that. Once his wits hit level 20, then I will start dumping his points into something else. I'm honestly not sure what I want to put his points into. Is there any indication actually? Oh, 11, okay. So I was going to say, is there any indication of what level we actually are? But yeah. Alright, so anyway, let's go ahead really quick. First off, we need to cloak. And then I want to send you forward because you... Oh, watch out. You need... Let's actually use Taunting Jest, because apparently... There we go. Use that, because apparently these guys are... I'm not likely to be able to actually get all of them with the Clash of Iron or whatever, so I want them to engage on him and not on anyone else, so I'm just gonna let them do their thing, basically. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh. Who are you casting this on? I feel like whoever you're casting this on, you shouldn't be. I'm almost 100% sure of that. Whoever you're casting that on, you bloody shouldn't be. Alright, so fire out your spell there. Let's just get some fireballs out, because these guys are vulnerable to flame attacks. And did I ever pick up the ability that lets you be good for... sneak attack? I don't think I did. I think I thought about it, but ended up not doing it. That's fine. So, having said that then, let's throw out Twisting Flame, because that will guarantee that we can hit all of them. And I think it actually does more damage than the Fireball. Yeah, it does. So yeah, do Twisting Flame. You're doing a Fireball, you're doing your special attack, and then I actually want you to do Twisting Flame as well. After you blasted these guys really hard. Let's just move you a little bit closer, position you a little bit better. Now, you can do it there. You're just taking some damage, but it's not really that serious. You can easily deal out quite a substantial chunk of damage to these guys. Unfortunately, we killed the one who was in the middle there, so it's much more different. Oh, I saw the wounded thing for a second. I thought that was friendlies being wounded, and I was like, what? But no, we're fine. What the hell did so much damage to you at the very end of that fight? Like, we were kicking ass, and suddenly you took a shit ton of damage for no real discernible reason. Which is somewhat concerning. I'm just curious why you took so much damage. Alright, so there's more dudes over here, but let's... As far as carved upon the wooden cover of this Pyropus notebook, the handwriting within is haphazard and inscrutable, the work of an unpracticed, poorly trained wordcaster. A few entries contain recognizable sentences, and the word book appears to be the journal of a Scarlet Corps commander detailing troop movements. Times and locations are noted alongside numbers and pictures of trees, stick figures, and rocks. The author either didn't know the words for lumber or in people, or just felt more comfortable with pictures and words. While much of the journal is inscrutable, the corner of every page is the day's head count for the author's brigade. While some days note dozens of losses, the brigade appears to be recruiting far faster than its members are dying or deserting. That's, considering we're at war with them, is not, Let's actually give that to her. Oops. Did I just... What just happened? Did I... Hold on. What? Did I pick up the other stuff? Oh, I did. Okay. I was concerned there for a second, because I was like, I don't know if I actually picked up the things that I meant to be picking up, but apparently I did. It just was making it difficult for me to notice that. That must be why Barrack has turned into my potion slave. He just carries all the potions all the time. I don't really know why. Oops. Did not mean to decloak you.
Right.
In fact, I very much meant for you to stay cloaked. Oh, there's a bunch of dudes over here. Alright then. That
no other way
is a little concerning. The numbers of them are a little concerning. You'd probably be detected if you did that. So probably don't want to do that.
Send them at me in waves.
Alright, now you can do this. Holy shit, that is a small army.
I got it.
Don't go over there. Definitely don't go over there. Alright, so these guys are vulnerable to ice, so we want ice attacks here, by and large. Which is cool, because we have plenty of ice attacks. And lightning. Wait. No, not lightning, because these guys are immune to lightning. Well, the Wisp is immune to lightning. I mean, how much do I actually care? I suppose is really the question that needs to be asked. The answer is, I do. I just don't know if I care enough to bother with it. Oh wait, no, I didn't meant, no. Scrap that. Scrap that, I lied. I don't want you to do the thing that I just told you to do. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I lied. That thing that I told you to do a second ago, don't do it. I was mistaken.
Right.
I was mistaken. I don't actually want you to do that. I mean, you do pretty good damage with that bow. I mean, no mistake. You do some pretty good damage with it. Definitely pretty good damage with it. I mean, you killed the thing, you missed, basically, and you still killed it. So, I mean... I'll take it. I'll take it, I guess. Oh, no, what are you doing? Why are you walking down there? How was that? Plus 12 arcane armor and magic defense. Okay. I have never seen that particular potion before. That is a new one. Oh, retreat a little bit. Retreat some more. Retreat a lot more. Holy shit. I do not want to trigger on these guys, because that would be bad. Alright, so now I want...
Sorry, can't do that.
you in closer to her. I want to get everybody with this if I can. There we go. Now, did I not make one of these AoE? I feel like I made one of these AoE. It did. Okay. Which one was this? Oh, it's mirror image. Okay. So that's good, actually, because that means we can cast this and get it on everybody.
As you command.
At once. With no difficulty. You have no buffs, but that's okay. That's not really your objective. Your objective is not to have buffs. Your objective is to hopefully not die horribly. Alright. We need to draw these guys in. All these guys are immune to fire, aren't they? Yes, they are. Well, shit. Okay, looks like ice attack, or not ice, lightning are the attacks that we want here. So before we do anything else, let's fire out one of these, because this will put a debuff on them. Make them more vulnerable to... Ow! That looks like it hurt. Make them more vulnerable to lightning. And then you can blast out with this, which does more damage because of the other effect. And then you can blast out with this. Are you shitting me right now? What are you doing? No, you stupid fuck! You stupid asshole! What the fuck are you doing? Seriously, what are you doing? Why did you just do that? You basically just screwed yourself, you stupid idiot. Yeah, you basically just suicided, you stupid fuck. By moving. You gave them all disengage attacks and you basically just killed yourself. You stupid asshole. Seriously, what the fuck are you doing? Oh my fucking god. That's the first time we've lost somebody in a while. And it's solely because of that. Because she decided, oh, you know what? I could stay here and fight them like an intelligent person, like I should fucking do, but fuck it, I'm gonna go kill myself. You stupid asshole. You stupid fucking asshole. I don't know what the hell you just did, but I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand why you did what you just did. What is wrong with you, you dumbass? Like, seriously, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Your skeleton out by your ass.
And now Lantry's going to die too, because you are retarded. Now Lantry dies too, because you're retarded.
I'll do it for the North.
Pretty sure you're healing yourself, which is fine. That was a waste of the spell.
I'm on it.
Thanks, dumbass.
As you command.
You got it.
Did you even heal yourself? I feel like you didn't heal yourself. Whatever. Pretty much giving up on this fight now because you're just fucking idiots. So we're gonna have to rest now because because of her, because she decided to just suicide herself. We now have to rest. Like, we don't even have a choice. It's really obnoxious. I'm actually, like, legitimately pissed about that.
Count on it.
Like, no mistake. I'm actually pissed off about what just happened there. You stupid fuck. Like, you seriously stupid fuck. See the counterclockwise twist in the flesh of Scarlet Chorus recruits. Those who cannot endure the Syrian mark are deemed unfit for even the most menial chore in the chorus. And such unfit recruits become teamsters or corpses, depending on their capacity for manual labor. You can sell this to a merchant as spare parts. Fashioned great number by the overworked smiths of the Candle Mountains, each recruitment band has its own unique size and style of curl, as well as imperfections and deformities that come from the hurried fabrication process. The lack of uniform brand creates cliques among the Scarlet Chorus. All recruits that share the same brand share memories of being burned and marked for life by the same person. Interesting. I feel like that has some actual, like that could have some actual significance. Like, I feel like that's not just, like, a random, you know, self-aparts type of thing. Potentially. I feel like that actually has some actual potential, at least, to be important. Which by no means means that it is. I just feel like that it could be. Oh, is that the sword right there? A used armorer's kit. Oh, those disfavored guys here too? Rarely sent to battle without the best arms and armor graven ashes quartermasters can acquire, as well as the tools to maintain that gear through a trying campaign. This leather roll pouch once carried iron needles, thread, wax, and a small tinderbox for the repair and maintenance of disfavored armor and uniforms. Contains just a few lengths of stray and bent needles. Best supplies have been used by the owner or looted by scavengers. Interesting, though. Nevertheless, still interesting. Fatiguing toxin, I don't care. And another elemental barrier potion for like the 5 millionth one of those. I will actually give you that, because that's a useful thing. And is this the sword? It appears it is in fact the sword. As your hand touches the hills of the sword, a rush of sensation courses up your arms as if you had dunked them in warm water. The feeling is at once calming and overwhelming and leaves you breathless. Dauntless. I saw that blade carve up too many friends during the Stalwart campaign. The locals rallied around it, sang anthems when it was drawn. It's every bit as meaningful to the Unbroken as Sentinels stand. If you ever needed a sword big enough to cleave the old walls in half, that would be it. Careful you point that thing. I've seen plenty of decorative copies in my time, but this is genuine. The Bane would not have gathered around a mundane imitation. It is the real Dauntless. He snatches up a quill and parchment. Lantern begins to sketch the sword. You'll need to hold onto it, for posterity's sake, naturally. As you grow accustomed to the sword's weight, your thoughts are drowned out by a perpetual buzz of voices, fragments of inspiring speeches, glorious battle cries, and the anticipation of triumph to come. The feeling subsides as quickly as it struck. Dauntless pulses in your hand, its potential desperate for release. Your perspective is divided between holding a sword and holding a living symbol. The distinction at times grows hazy. What kind of sword is it? Please tell me it's... Oh, it is one-handed. Sweet. I was going to say, I hope it's not... Oh, my power actually went up. Cool. Let's say, I hope it's not a, two-handed weapon, but it isn't. Good. Good. You know, now I feel like I wish I hadn't bought this weapon, because if I had realized I was going to go acquire a special weapon, I wouldn't have bothered to buy it. It has no armor piercing, though, which is somewhat concerning. So maybe we replace Vileton with it, because Vileton only does the poison on a crit, and does less damage overall, although it does have way the hell better accuracy than this thing does. So there's that. But of course doesn't have the ability. Stuns all nearby enemies. Damage increases with the Dauntless's renown. Damage of the ability or damage of the sword? Foe AoE, if it crits, dazes them. For quite a while, too. Interesting. So the legendary sword was the legendary sword was the badge of office for the champion of Stalwart. So many warriors brought dauntless to battle over the centuries that the presence of the wielder was often less notable than that of the sword itself, which steered the hopes of stalwart armies toward victory. Even in instances when a champion lacked the people's confidence, dauntless made up for their shortcomings by delivering on the promise of victory. The sword's most notable feat of recent memory took place during the Battle of Quelling Field in 398. A free city's army advanced on stalwart farmlands and nearly won the day. When Dauntless was unsheathed, the defending soldiers broke out in patriotic cheer. This abrupt change of attitude so rattled the Free City's mercenaries that they assumed their fortunes changed, and that Stalwart had gained a second wind in the battle. It was only days after their panicked retreat that they learned of their error. Consequently, the cultural significance of this blade cannot be underestimated. Indeed. I dislike the loss in accuracy, but it actually is a damage increase over, well, per hit, and also for per DPS, but just barely over Vileton. Somehow it's actually significantly better, well, I guess because of the recovery, yeah, than the Jagged Remedies first. But it doesn't have the armor penetration that does have, so if not for the armor penetration, it is unquestionably better. However, it has an ability, so I think the fact that it has an ability makes it
This will be fun.
more important. The simple fact that it has an ability, I think it just automatically makes it the weapon that we want. And you can just replace the Ardent Bronze Sword there because you're just better. You're just straight better. But I feel like now I wish I hadn't spent all the money I spent to upgrade Vileton. And, was this exquisite to begin with? This might have been exquisite to begin with, I don't remember now. But I do feel like now I wish I hadn't done that, because this is actually a really good sword. I'm gonna leave it in my inventory just because it's so good, but I mean, we gotta use Dauntless. I mean, come on. This is not even, like, not using it is not even a thing. Like, we have no choice but to use it. It's just a badass weapon, so. Alright, so what exactly does it do? It does do arcane damage. Oh, okay. So I think the ability upgrades as the renown goes up. Because, like, if you look at the Grave Bow, it does way more damage now with its effect here than it did previously. Because it does that big AoE damage and the regular damage. I just wish it wasn't like a per rest thing. I wish these artifacts did not have per rest. I wish they were per battle. Same problem I have with some of the character abilities, the unlockable ones, are all per rest rather than per battle. The ones that you initially start with them are per battle, and I think that makes them more useful, because the per rest makes it actually pretty hard to actually be able to use the ability, because you always end up being stuck in the same reason that I don't use potions and shit in most games, is I'm always stuck in the idea of, I want to hold on to this, I'll need it, it'll be more useful to me, more important to me later, and then that mindset just means you never end up using it. So we did get a message back from her, and our last question was asking about edicts. Alright. It is difficult to separate fact from superstition when it comes to edicts, as it seems only Kairos knows how it all works. The rest of us are left to live in fear and ponder it all. Kairos' edicts are a sort of magic, above and beyond even the Archons. I dare say the edicts are stronger than Kairos, as there's no evidence Kairos can willingly stop an edict once it's set into motion, which is in part why Kairos' edicts seem to have an until or unless clause in their wording. I know the edict, as powerful as it is, requires a human voice to complete the casting. Thus the Overlord has people like you proclaim edicts cast far from the Imperial throne. The magic is Kairos' magic. The human voice is the final carrier or trigger to complete the magic phenomena. And here's what's most fascinating, as far as you're concerned. There have been dozens of mortal agents who have been made to proclaim edicts. 2/3 of them die within a decade, and many gave reports of lingering mystic scars from the ordeal. There have also been a handful to resolve or break an edict. These until and unless clauses get fulfilled from time to time, and we see a similar pattern in history. Those who resolve an edict often live short lives, and many speak of arcane side effects of the shattered edicts. Here's where you're unique. To the best of my fact-finding, you are the first to proclaim and break the same exact edict. Whatever mystical power is involved in the creation and destruction of such magics, you're the first to stand at the terminus of both. Now that I know the spires can be awoken, it makes sense that if anything can or would wake them from slumber, a shattered edict seems a likely culprit. Kairos' other edicts placed throughout the tiers. If you truly wish to learn more, perhaps you should take it upon yourself to shatter those edicts. After all, Kairos did not wish for the edicts to be broken. Why include a termination clause? Well, yes, but the fact that anyone who has broken and or issued them has suffered a misfortune after doing so is, I think, fairly telling as well, because I believe that the spires are how Kairos casts the edicts. And because there are 5 spires that we can unlock in the game, but there's actually 10 spires total, based on the fact that on the original one here, there is 10 symbols around the altar thing. But there's only 5 spires in the game. We know the spires up north. And of course, there's also the fact that if you look on the thing, you can look at the edicts in the spire thing. So, I mean, but that's like metagaming, so let's not use that as an explanation. But yeah, we made and broke an edict in the spire, and that's what unlocked it and gave it to us. But perhaps somebody who made or broke an edict just individually would maybe be able to use the spire? And Kairos doesn't want that, so he makes sure something happens. It's a possibility. It's a distinct possibility. Because he's trying to make sure that nobody else can control spires. Well, we control spires. I would not be at all surprised if we suffer a misfortune caused by Kairos to kind of descend upon us. Now, whether that would succeed at anything or not is perhaps highly questionable. Okay, so we have nothing to talk to you about. I know we need to go talk to, what's-his-face? The Archon, which is why we're here, but I'm curious if there is anything else to do here. Although, frankly, I haven't seen anything yet. You're a merchant, so I know you're not really what I'm looking for. Or one of you is a merchant, anyway. I don't remember which one. No. You're the merchant. Yeah. Honestly, I don't think I'm gonna even bother to sell stuff to you. I don't care. I'm just going to gather up stuff and then we'll sell it back up to the spires. Most likely off camera when I'm trying to do things. Incidentally, there is something that we have in the process. Lateral Aaron's experience. Have we not earned experience by completing, by killing those guys and getting the sword? Fatebinder, you return! Through his congenial smile, you just barely detected Ash's wincing. Something wrong? Nothing I can't handle. The war takes a toll on everyone it touches, but in my case, the price can be heavier than most. He rises to full height and dismisses your concerns with an authoritative shrug of his shoulders. But never mind that. You didn't come to hear about an old man's aching joints. We have a realm to subjugate and people to break under the disfavored banner. What is it you require? I returned from the Old Wall's breach and killed the leader of the Unbroken, I understand. You've accomplished much in the name of the Legion, and devotion is a quality that I praise in my soldiers. The Unbroken will no doubt elect another rotting scarecrow to represent their interests. We had best subdue the rest of this realm before they have time to recover from the loss. He strokes his beard and ponders. You put much at stake in plumbing those ancient ruins. Though these lands are not wholly subjugated under the Empire, we are still beholden to Kairos' laws against entering the Old Walls. I appreciate that you take such risks on my legion's behalf. I can only hope that this mad scramble for heirlooms furthers the goals of the conquest. I suspect that even mighty Tunon would forgive our transgression if the war depended upon it. I wouldn't be so sure about that. I think this will mean trouble. I recovered the insignia. Recovering a cloak pin was too tall in order for your elite soldiers. Let's see what else I can accomplish. That's a bad idea. I think it'll mean trouble? Not for me. I'd have you go to the ends of Terratus if it means bringing down the voices of Nerat, and that includes the Old Walls. If Tudon takes offense to your actions, then I leave you and the Adjudicator to sort out your differences. Well, I've recovered the thing, which should allow us to pass the wind wall. The Unbroken were crafty to think out that one of their regent heirlooms would circumvent Kairos' magic, and we will reap the benefits of their foresight. The last of the regents will die, and the Edict of Storms will be dispelled. The subjugation of Stalwart is nearly complete. I'm ready to use it to see if it works. I'm dispatching 2 forces to Sentinel Stand, one led by the Iron Guard Romulan, and one by Commander Demetrius. We are closer to breaching Sentinel Stand than we've ever been. If you have questions, voice them now. Otherwise, I anticipate your victory against the Unbroken, and the recovery of my daughter. Tell me about the Disfavored. We were more than a mere army. I ensure that the Disfavored Legion represent everything we hold dear in the North. Rigid discipline, training to perfection, respect for the law, and the importance of family. As conquerors, it is our duty to teach the savage lands not just how to live up to the values the Empire sets, but how to live for them. Do the Disfavored have their own laws? I hold the Legion to a particular set of standards. We don't have laws, as you would know them under Tunon's teachings, but every soldier in the Legion is aware of my expectations. The first, honor the Legion in thought and deed. I cannot allow atrocity or heinous crime to drag my respectable Northmen into shame. I expect my soldiers to follow Kairos' mandates and conduct themselves respectably. The second, honor all oaths with your life. This respects the vows made to me as Archon and Kairos as Overlord. There can be no formal marriage for the Disfavored ranks. This is to prevent any obligations higher than the military. My soldiers can pair up and sire offspring as they wish. The North needs daughters and sons, and I have not forced my countrymen to choose between family and loyalty. And last, honor your shield and your weapon. The maintenance and care of arms and armor are critical to a soldier's success on the field. Of course, there are the rare exceptions. How do you fare under that shell of iron, son of Barraconan? The Archon regards Barrack with interest. Well enough, General. I know I'm not in top form, but I'm able to execute my duties with distinction. As you say. As you say. What's Legion's history? As Kairos conquered the North under a single banner, there were those of us who resisted the call to unification. I was a young warlord at the time, petulant and inflated by pride. I rallied the sons and daughters of the North to stand against Kairos. Our offensive was valiant. We planted our shield wall between the armies of Kairos and our homeland, declaring that no tyrants would dare cross us. Go on. We held our ground for a time, drawing the attention of others who would add their strength to ours. Every victory was discussed and celebrated by other warring factions that refused to submit. As you have witnessed, none can stand against Kairos. Eventually, my legion shattered against the relentless onslaught of Archons and soldiers. They brought me in chains before Tunon. He told me that enemies of Kairos would all be put to the sword unless I took that one opportunity to surrender and join the fold. Such an indignity for an honored warlord to suffer. I will take that one because it's our specialty. Because of our background. Perhaps, but it was no less than I deserved at the time. I was overproud of my accomplishments, and nothing but the Overlord's censure and a threat of execution could stem my egoism. Out of loyalty and love for my countrymen, I swallowed my pride and bent the knee, offering my sword and my life to the Empire. My army was granted the rights of Kairos' peace, and we lived on as servants of the Overlord. Since we had transgressed and rebelled against the offering of Kairos' protection, my elite legion was stripped of their decorated name and dubbed the Disfavored, a mocking reminder of our past crimes. Even as we stand above all others in the ways of war, we struggle to earn back Kairos' favor. Every soldier in my legion is descended from those who stood with me during the rebellion. I keep them close to me because they were the finest northern stock, and their continued lineage is a reminder of Kairos' mercy. It goes for you as well, child of the North. By your unwavering loyalty and respect for our heritage, you are beloved in my eyes. He nods at Merrick. Pfft, disgusting. I hope you don't expect me to listen to this sentimental drivel much longer. You sound jealous, Verse. Maybe you should just don't know how it feels to be favored by an Archon. Nor would I want to. The Voices of Narat takes an interest in you that's one step closer to having your skin flayed and sewn into his tent. Well then. That escalated quickly. Tell me the units. Most of the Legion is made up of stone shields. They are the bricks in our shield wall. The Iron Walkers are the trained and efficient killers who branch out from behind the phalanx to fight among the enemy ranks. Crescent Runners are the fleet-footed light infantry who bait the enemy into premature attacks. The Oathbound are specialized scouts and advanced infantry. Then there are the Iron Guard, tempered in the Forge of War, armored to survive any blow, and commanders of surpassing skill. The only other units are my Earthshakers, the former mages of Karn, who command avalanches and harness nature's fury to our ends. We regard the Southerners with great severity. The South has squatted in willful ignorance of Kairos' superiority for so long that they don't deserve my respect. As the rest of the Empire coalesced into a united, shared culture, the Tearsmen prided themselves as distinct. We looked on them from afar with nothing but scorn. All that I see in the Tears confirms my bias. There is lawlessness, neglect, corruption, infighting. Everything the vaunted North is disposed of through superior breeding and culture. I see hope and potential. This place is unformed. Let's do our duty of oppression appropriately. You don't see that as contradictory. You stood up against Kairos after all. Ooh, gains his wrath, but I'm totally going to go for it because, number one, I don't care about really gaining his wrath too much. And number two, gains his lore, which is nice. That happened centuries ago, during the earliest days of the Northern Conquest. If you think these periods of history can be easily compared, then you are more short-sighted than I could have imagined. And that upped his wrath all the way to level 2, so I'm totally down. I like what you did there, but one of these days we should sit down and discuss how you talk to an Archon. Begins and ends like this. Don't piss off an Archon. Well, you're not entirely wrong, Verse, but I stood against a presumptive overlord to defend a way of life that no longer exists. The South can afford no such illusions. Kairos has dominated every corner of Terratos, and claiming these lands by might is already accomplished in all but name. The realms of the South are willfully ignorant of their place in the world, and I will neither celebrate or flatter it with terms like independence or rebellion. With full knowledge of the consequences, the former lords of the South endangered the lives of their people. This cannot be tolerated. Of course, it's possible that these Tearsmen may come to enjoy all the best of Kairos' offerings, but it will take generations of trial and the long-term eradication of culture as they know it. A worthy pursuit, by any standard. Your rebellion. Right to be curious about our history, but it concerns me that you would speak of rebellion. The battles of the past are centuries cold and hard as iron. Might inform our present efforts. They might, at that. None of the squalling Tearsmen hold a candle to my efforts, but I would rather you marched forth understanding your enemy than not. So you want to hear how I decimated the armies of Kairos, built my legion around northern values, and achieved a measure of power? It's true that I accomplished much as a northern warlord, but my life began in earnest under the Overlord's tutelage. Who did you defeat during your rebellion? I defeated Bloodruin, the Archon of War at the time, by leading him into a trap. He must have been so consumed by the fury of the hunt that he overlooked a bit of hasty misdirection. Even the execution of that foe was nothing compared to the victory I would win later. I also defeated the Voices of Narat. He beams with pride. Strange to imagine that happening so many years ago, and here we are again. My legion nearly destroyed the Scarlet Chorus. Humiliated them, in fact. I suspect the Archon of Secrets is still licking his wounded pride. I wonder if you remember the conflict differently, or at all for that matter. The Voices has a long memory, but a short attention span. His soldiers are as disposable and unloved as anything can be. The Voices holds his pride and satisfaction in higher regard. He's crafty enough that nothing can wound him deeply, though I seem to have earned the distinction. What was it like to assume the Archon of War's mantle? Well, at first I was unaware that I'd assumed any power beyond my normal authority. Might seem obvious now, but that war tends to confuse such things. I had no desire whatsoever to claim or accept such a responsibility under Kairos. It took years for me to fully come to terms with my own surrender and subjugation. But if I was meant for any title in the honored hierarchy of Archons, war seemed an appropriate one for me. In truth, I think of myself more as a general and a father. About the fighting. About fighting the Archons. We won many battles against the Archons, though we did the most damage against the forces of Nerat, who was by no means the only Archon to assault our shield wall. When the Archon of Entropy tarnished our weapons, we fought with wood. When the Archon of Sorrow sapped our fervor, we rallied around Sons of the North. I dismantled their offensives, even though I lacked an Archon's education or experience. No doubt this is one of the reasons that Kairos singled me out to join the ranks. So how'd you rise to power? That tale is bound to the rebellion itself. I always inspired loyalty and devotion to my soldiers, but as the years wore on, I grew to love them in turn. Every stone shield is as dear to me as a blood relation, and I would go to any length to see them succeed. As we all know too well, General, he strikes a fierce salute. When we stood tall against Kairos, the women and men of my legion trained harder, marched further, and endured more than even I had taught them. We were unstoppable. The soldiers credited me with this new advantage. I had given them my total commitment, and they felt protected and strengthened by my presence. At first, I thought it merely their nature to look to their leader for courage. But nay, they were the first to discover the truth. You mean the Aegis? You clearly paid attention during the conquest. My Aegis, as it came to be called, covers my loyal soldiers in a protective shroud. They also have 10 times the endurance and coordination of a standard army, and shrug off lethal blows without incident. At first, I attributed the performance of my legion to their training and breeding, but soon it became clear that something greater was afoot. I suspect this redoubled Kairos' interest in me. The power of an Archon is something to be nurtured and stamped out in accordance with Tunan's judgment. Once the forces of Kairos viewed my influence over the troops as a demonstrable threat, they resolved to put an end to my defiance once and for all. They sent every army they could spare after us, all but sacrificing the Scarlet Chorus in the process. Eventually, as all detractors do, even I fell. What happened next? They dragged me to Cunan's court in chains. I killed a dozen guards on the journey. If I was to be shackled for the Overlord's delight, I would pay back the indignity in blood. When I knelt before the adjudicator and felt the force of his judging stare, my temper cooled, turning from anger to fear. Tunan offered me the terms of my own sentence. If I walked the path of insubordination, the lives of my soldiers were forfeit. If I bent the knee to Kairos, an opportunity that would not present itself twice, then I could continue to serve my legion as their Archon. It was a difficult choice, but not so trying that it paralyzed me. My soldiers had not earned such glory to see it all snuffed out before their time. Snuffed out, rather. After I made the choice, Tunan invited me to a council of Archons, where my loyalties were affirmed and my place among their number sealed in a compact to Kairos. No sooner had I become an Archon to my soldiers than I became the Overlord's Archon of War. It's a pretty decent promotion, and earned through a display of strength. Odd that he holds the chorus in such contempt. You already know the rest. My vaunted legion became disfavored. The Archons even forced me to cast off my northern surname. Graven was a joke at my expense, since I buried my pride in the past. I am a vassal of Kairos now, but the protection of my soldiers is secure. I have guided their family lines across generations, and the disfavored show no signs of slowing. That's enough for now. Do you ever wish you remained defiant? Ooh. What? What is that, Fatebinder? I hope I didn't just hear you utter those words. You're walking a fine line asking the Archon those sorts of questions, Fatebinder. But take care with how you address the General in the future. Let me ask out of curiosity. I asked you a question, General. As Tunan's Fatebinder, I deserve an answer. Ooh. Could force an answer. So we can just kind of brush it off like, whatever. Or we could be like, look, bitch. Ah, man. I'm gonna push it. Like, I'm actually gonna push it. You go too far questioning the General like this. Don't say you weren't warned. Gained fear with Barrack. That's actually fine, because I want his fear ability. You deserve nothing. You think just because the adjudicator gives you a measure of authority that I'm obligated to disclose my thoughts to the likes of a legal clerk? I'm not as giving as Tunon. My trust is earned, and your impertinence in thinking you're warranted anything sours my any estimate I had of your worth. I've never second-guessed my decision. Had I remained defiant, my beloved Northerners would have faced execution, and by my own hand I would have followed them to the grave. The North fell to Kairos. I mourned for the old ways, even as I'd served the Conqueror's will. But over time, we rose to become greater than a short-sighted warlord could ever dream. The next time you question my loyalty, remember that I have done in the name of the country. Remember what I have done in the name of army and country. I am the Archon of War. If you seek an expert in backstabbing, perhaps you would better served in the voices of Nerat's company. I hope we understand each other. In a civil war, loyalties are compromised on both sides. Don't take it personally, old man. Damn. Loyalties are compromised on both sides. Of course, you're right. I shouldn't have responded so harshly. The forces of Kairos already have blades to each other's throats, and you are no doubt more accustomed to rooting out treachery. Accept an old man's grudging admission that things are not as they were, and even he has trouble in keeping up. I want this war to end, if only so we can return to lives of simple obedience. Our enemies don't make it easy for us, do they? He shakes his head and sighs. Alright, I think we're done. That was an interesting conversation, though. We learned a little bit more about his background and the background of the disfavored. Now, unfortunately, we have actually reached the end of the episode, so we're going to... I need to double check here. Nothing of interest there. Do that. Okay, yeah, so we have done everything that we needed to do. Now, I do want to look at this real quick. Did increase the wrath with the disfavored, which is cool, because I actually do want their abilities. I actually wouldn't mind having the level 5 wrath ability, actually. That was probably going to be hard to get, though. Oh, we've actually gotten the Corrosive Aura for them, and we're about to get the level 5 one. About to get level 5 Sage's Guild. It's pretty cool. Fox Brotherhood, Venturing Guard, Forge Bound, Stone Stalkers. Yeah, so we're so close to getting Barrack's Fear ability, which is cool. We have both of the verses. Close to having both of Ebbs. Haven't even done anything with Kills in Shadow, and haven't gotten much with Siren, unfortunately. And the actual Archons don't have abilities. But it's okay. I love how the favor is maxed out. Wrath is getting up there. Okay, well, I will see you folks in the next episode. We will pick up, continuing on. I guess we are going to see if this artifact actually works. Who knows? We'll find out, I guess. This is still not fucking progressed, though. This is annoying. Because I don't know what the hell do we need to progress this thing. I might need to go back and make sure it's not broke or something. Oh well. So I'll see you in the next episode. Take it easy, folks. Have a good day, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.